Shalom. I want to start giving all praise to Yahweh, Ba'asham Yahushai, Ba'asham Kakadash. Double honors to the apostles and elder bishops of Great Millstone for teaching scriptures, among other things. And salutations to all the Akyam across the earth for doing this work in sincerity and truth. And shalom to the sincere brothers and sisters who are at home watching the videos and do the best to please Yahweh, Ba'asham Yahushai. So yeah, man. Slakia. Let me clear my throat. But yeah, shalom. This video I want to go through a couple of articles. There's a lot going on lately. We're living in this time. You can see that everything is going quick. Everything got ready. Oh, there's also a thing that I remember now, an article that I saw. I didn't share it, but it was also like I said that exclusive. You got a lot of articles that could there which are exclusive. You can only read a little part of it. But like you got a couple of festivals like Lowland. They how you say that they are going digital, and that's just going towards the MOTB, because they always used to work with these how you say that, with these festivals, with coins. As a matter of fact, I'm just gonna look it up. How do you say that? Lowlands. So yeah, I can find it on this article also. See. Just go on this. Yeah, so it's an exclusive article. Just gonna translate it and jump into it real quick, because that's what they do. They gradually bring it in. Get make people use, because everybody's already used. A lot of people pay with their phone. They got their debt info on the phone, but that's also a thing. You might have it on your phone, but if you need to do some groceries or whatever, and your connection is gone, or your battery is low, then you're not able to pay. Me myself, I still have a bank card, and yeah, for me personally, I keep holding on that as long as possible. I don't use my phone like to pay with it. Yeah, I can do it with a QR code, but not I don't have. Yeah, I have like the internet banking system. I have it on my phone, but I don't have the thing. Like the people that they have like you see the bank card in the screen, and then they touch the paying device, and it's paid. Me personally, I never do it. And I'm not saying to brothers or sisters that are doing it like stop doing it, but just me personally, I don't like it. And yeah, but that's also a way they make you use to make that move, because now you got your phone in your hand or your bank card. It doesn't matter because you still are paying how you say that, just by touching the machine, or hold it close to the paying device. So that's and eventually they want that paying device to be in your hand. So you're already getting used to make that move, and then you're gonna they want you in the future to make that move without you holding anything. So that anything is in your hand, and they want, and of course they want everything digital, and they tell you it's easy and this and that. But yeah, that's also easy for them to control you. They already do it. Like, for example, if you got like a big debt, let's say you got a big debt, and you are not I said it, you cannot pay it. They just like a debt collector, they already can put like a block on your bank account. They can put a hold on it, and you know that they like when your paycheck's gonna be there, they're just gonna take the money. You are not able to use your bank, your money. They are, so like these debt collectors, they already how I say that, they can already do it. So what about the government? In China, they already have a credit score. You have to behave in a certain way. They're already showing you a lot of I know, like the Rabobank in Holland. That's one bank that I know for sure that's doing it. But if you're buying stuff, they show you what your carbon footprint is by buying stuff, and you know how they want to control the people. Like your carbon footprint should be as small as possible. Meanwhile, you got companies that be polluting the earth big time. But yeah, so like I said, there's a lot going on. So let me jump to this article first. First coin-free edition for Lowlands. It was annoying that I had to decide in advance how much money I was going to spend. Because then they're going to show you like how I said it, how convenient it is. Because back in the days, if you used to go to a festival, you have to buy this coin. So you were thinking like, okay, let me buy for 50 euros or whatever. I'm gonna buy some coins, and if that's finished, then I'm gonna see if I'm gonna buy something more. So now they're gonna be like, oh, you can just pay by a debit card or by your phone or whatever. So you don't have to think about it. Which is actually kind of bullshit, because if you go to a festival, for example, and you buy coins, you are more aware about the money that you are spending. But now, if you just can pay by touching it, a lot of people gonna spend more money eventually than they plan to do. But yeah, like I said, there's a big plan behind it. During the C19, they run several tests, and see how the people were accepting the rules that were laid upon them. And yeah, they keep on doing it. Before, they are not from the one to another day gonna make the MOTB mandatory. They gonna make people get used first, and then the majority of the people who will accept it, they're gonna take it by themselves, and then they're gonna come for those that don't want to take it. Like in the time of the C19 with the jump shot with the devil juice. They were making all kinds of rules that those people, they'd be like, yeah, you are not, it's not mandatory to take it. But those who don't take it, they are not allowed to go to the gym. They are not allowed to take an airplane to go on holiday, and all these things, that they were doing. So back to the article, fewer and fewer festivals are using tokens as a payment, and Lowland is also celebrating its first token-free edition next weekend. Why are fewer and fewer festivals opting for the token system, and what do visitors think of it? And Lowland is a very big, famous festival. A lot of people always want to go there. So yeah, man. So we're gonna go back to the article. Let me see. So this one, we start with this one first. So like I said, there's a lot going on. So this is for Japan. 80 years after Hiroshima and Nagasaki, cracks are appearing in Japan's nuclear weapon taboo. So this is showing something, because you know how especially the Americans, the Edomites in general, they be like forgive and forget. That's also what they teach in this Christianity bullshit. Forgive and forget. Forgive him and move on. But the Most High already said, vengeance is mine. Read the book of Obadiah. It speaks of revenge. Read the book of Psalms, chapter 137. Those chapters are very clear. Showing the Most High gonna plead with all nations, man. Everybody's gonna get it. That fucked with the real children of Israel. So-called Negroes, Latinos, and the so-called Indianos. So back to the article. 80 years after Hiroshima and Nagasaki, cracks are appearing in Japan's nuclear weapons taboo. Nuclear weapons at the commemoration of the atomic bombing of Hiroshima 80 years ago. dignitaries, survivors, and families called for a world without nuclear weapons. But the taboo is slowly breaking down in Japan as well. The two nuclear bombs dropped by American aircraft on the cities of Hiroshima and Nagasaki on August 6 and 9, 1994, caused an estimated 200,000 direct casualties. In the decades that followed, tens of thousands more people died from exposure to radioactivity. This has made nuclear weapons a taboo subject in Japan, even more so than elsewhere in the world. And then I cannot read the article any further, but let me go to this article also because it is showing you that they did not forget, you know. They did not forget. 8 years, they still thinking about it, and now they also thinking about having nuclear weapons, you know. Nagasaki atomic bomb victims remembers 80 years ago during a special sunset march. The sunset march on Saturday evening was a special one. It was dedicated to the victims of the atomic bombing of Nagasaki 80 years ago. Representatives from the embassies in the Netherlands and Japan laid a wreath on a wreath together. If only we could do that. The Sunset March has been held daily since October 1924. A short march across the Oversteek Bridge in Nijmegen, always with a veteran and always with at sunset. So this walk was in Holland. You know, I was already looking at the picture, like, yeah, it doesn't look like Japan, but yeah. It's a tribute to the 48 Allied soldiers who died in World War II during Operation Market Garden while crossing the Waal River, a war a war in which Japan was also an aggressor. The country attacked the United States and seized large parts of Southeast Asia, including the Dutch East Indies, so-called Indonesia. But on Saturday, Japan and the Netherlands stood and walked side by side. Together, they commemorated the victims of the atomic bomb dropped on Nagasaki by the United States 80 years ago. Survived thanks to digging tunnel. The joint commemoration during the Sunset March is an initiative of Ruud van Cry van Druten. Years ago, he was captivated by the story of his friend Rob Schouten's father, Everhard Eve Schouten. They founded the Nagasaki Monument Foundation and, together with the Japanese Nagasaki Committee, created a monument in Nagasaki for the victims of Fukuoka 14B prison camp, the camp where Eve Schouten was imprisoned. It was unveiled in 2023. During World War II, Eve Schouten was imprisoned in Camp Fukuoka, fucking names, man. 14B in Nagasaki, located almost 2 kilometers from the spot where the Americans dropped an atomic bomb on August 9, 1994. He was fortunate enough to be working in a trench tunnel at the time. As he later told his son, he survived the atomic bomb. The atomic bombing of Hiroshima, you see that? So they even hit a camp. And that's funny because if you look at America, they be always talking about, yeah, you cannot shoot civilians and all that. And what is his best friend, these Israelis, these smallheads doing, you know, shooting children, women and children. And that's what they always make soldiers do. You know, I remember like in the time the war going on in Yugoslavia, had soldiers from Holland there, and they were forced to shoot. You know, I heard that from first degree. They were forced to shoot unarmed civilians, you know, and then blame it on one of those leaders, because those are the things that they do. They go to a country, you know, they basically create a civil war over there, you know, let the people, because Yugoslavia, they used to be like one big happy family over there. And then all of a sudden they start to have cracks there. But that's, you know, when ISIL start to interfere, you know, give them some money there, make sure that the people over there are poor and unhappy, then give them weapons and all that, you know. That's what Esau like to do, create some chaos, and then he's going to look for the resources and, you know, whatever. So with these people also, you know, and, but yeah, you know, they force the soldiers to basically do that. So that's why also a lot of them when they come out of war, they are, they are not there. You know, they lost it because it does something with you. If you fight with a soldier, you're a soldier. You shoot at another soldier. It's you and him. But civilians, people, little children, women, men without who are not armed, they don't have a chance. That's different. The atomic bombings of Hiroshima, August 6, 1994, and Nagasaki caused the Japanese Empire to surrender, ending World War II. Exact number of victims unclear. Yeah, it's always unclear with this devil. If it is about victims that he made, is always unclear. Meanwhile, he make documents of everything, counts everything. Now that it has been 80. Oh, Salakia. So fucked up. Give me one moment. Let me take a sip of water. Very annoying. But yeah, like I said, it's always like concerning them. Then it's always not clear how many victims there are. Now that it has been 80 years since the Americans dropped the atomic bomb on Nagasaki, Van Cry and Schouten believe it is the perfect time to commemorate the victims during the Sunset March of the 548 Dutch prisoners in Fukuba Bay. Let me look a little bit. I can read the whole article, but yeah, I'm not really planning to do that. But the reason that I jump in these two articles is to show you that they did not forget. They are also talking about getting nuclear weapons. Country like Japan that basically made an oath with themselves like they're never gonna use it, but they're sick and tired to be bullied around. They seen that the victor, you know, the bully is getting weak. Talking about America, that's something in my mind. Oh yeah, let me jump to the book of Matthew because now that comes to mind. Because like I said, there's a lot going on. This is the book of Matthew, chapter 24, verse 6. And ye shall hear of wars and rumors of wars. See that ye be not troubled, for all these things must come to pass, but the end is not yet. You see that? It has to come. For nation shall rise against nation, and kingdom against kingdom, and there shall be famines and pestilence and earthquakes in diverse places. All these are the beginning of sorrows. And if you look at last week, there were some earthquakes going on, even in Russia. So yeah, a lot of fires going on, Spain, France, so a lot of shit going on. Showing you the times that, that we are in. And then I had also another article. Basically, no, this good. This good. Because then I'm gonna switch the topic, but just keep it like this. So yeah. Yeah, basically I can jump in the other article also actually. So this is from Niger. And they already did away with the French, and that's also showing you that these other countries, they are sick and tired to be bullied by these Americans, and they basically, yeah, by the so-called white people in general, by the Edomites, they sick and tired of the Edomites, and they gonna take control of their countries again. For example, this Niger nationalized its only industrial gold mine, so they be like, Esau, you just have to pay. You're not gonna get these minerals, this gold for barely nothing. They put a stop to it. Niger's military government is nationalizing the country's only industrial gold mine. The Australian operator McKinnell Resources Limited is accused of serious breaches of its agreements. Junta leader General Tiani announced the decision in a television address. The measure is in line with the vision that we must promote popular ownership of natural resources, he said. So basically said, okay, Esau, your time is done. We are not gonna let you steal our resources. He said, he said, in June, the junta nationalized a subsidiary of a French uranium company. Yeah, because they got rid of French and French was getting all this uranium from them, and they stopped that too. Burkina Faso, Gabon, Niger, just to name a few countries. Also, Ghana stopped them in military cooperation with France, so they've been sent away from there. Junta leader Tiani announced the decision in a television address. The measure is in line with the vision that we must promote popular ownership of natural resources. He said in June the junta nationalized its subsidiary of a French uranium company. Mecano Resources Limited acquired a majority stake in the mine in southwestern Niger in 2019. In 2023, the mine produced 170 kilograms of pure gold. Small scale gold mining yielded 2,200 kilograms in that year. According to the junta, the mine deplore is in a deplorable state. The operator allegedly neglected to invest in the mine and is behind on paying taxes and staff salaries. Of course, because that's how Esau is. He always want to be that slave master. He want to make all this profit, and that few money that even the people, the miners, get for going for basically risking their life over there. He also refused to pay that. These devil. The military has been in power since 2023. Then President Bazoum was ousted because his government allegedly mismanaged the country and failed to control jihadists advancing from Mali and Nigeria. And that's also a thing because they put puppets there. And this man, he saw it, and he's like, he told the that's what they do with the presidents that they have. They tell them just to leave now, or otherwise they're gonna be deleted. The junta then followed the examples of other military regimes in the region and broke off military cooperation with former colonizer France. You see that? So France got out too. So this is what's going on. Let me read this first. That's the book of 2nd Ezra, chapter 9 and 1. He answered me then and said, Measure thou the time diligently in itself, and when thou seest part of the signs pass which I have told thee before, then shalt thou understand that it is the very same time wherein the highest will begin to visit the world which he made. So, and that's exactly what you see going on right now. Measure the time, seeing the things going on, and holding the prophecies next to it. Therefore, when there shall be seen earthquakes and uproars of the people in the world, and these things been going on, then shalt thou well understand that the Most High spake of those things from the days that were before thee, even from the beginning. For like as all that is made in the world had a beginning and the end is manifest, even so the times also of the highest have plain beginnings in wonders and powerful works, and endings in effects and signs. And that's exactly what's going on. So this is the book of Joel, chapter 3 and verse 9. Proclaim ye this among the Gentiles, prepare war, wake up the mighty men, and let all the men of war draw near, let them come up. So all these countries, they're getting ready for war. Beat your plowshares into swords and your pruning hooks into spears. Let the weak say, I'm strong. And that's what you're seeing going on right now. They've been oppressed for years. Because don't forget, countries like Niger, they used to have the people enslaved there also, yeah, till recently. And France, these Edomites are fucking filthy too. You don't hear too much about them, but they're fucking filthy too. They shoot, like during the Second World War, you had the soldiers from Ghana fighting on site with them, and of course the France had to pay them. They refused to pay them, and when they asked for the money, they just deleted them. Like a full squad. And they talked about like it's 30 people around, but then some historians already said it's already more than 30 people. If you look at a squad of an army, you already know that those are more people. And they said, yeah, the majority of them didn't had a gun, but some had. But okay, so but you were shooting those soldiers deaf. They were shooting those soldiers deaf. But they claiming that some of the soldiers also had arms. So but none of them was even hit by a bullet. Of the France. You see that? So they already shows you that Esau be lying. But like the scripture said, let me slack it. Let me jump to the book of Psalms. This book of Psalms, chapter 58 and verse 3. The wicked are estranged from the womb. They go astray as soon as they be born, speaking lies. You see that? He's created to be a devil, to be lying, and all that shit. It is his nature. Slakia, man. So back to the book of Joel, chapter 3 and verse 11. Assemble yourself and come, all ye heathen, and gather yourself together round about thither, cause the mighty ones to come down, O Yahweh. Let the heathen be wakened and come up to the valley of Yahweh Shaphat. And that's talking about the Middle East, because eventually everybody's going to be drawn there. They're already looking at this Israelis, so people are getting ready, to protect these Palestinians and all that. So yeah, things are about to happen, man. Let the heathen be wakened and come up in the valley of Yahweh Shaphat, for there will I sit to judge all the heathen round about. So everybody's going to get it. Put ye in the sickle, for the harvest is ripe. Come, get you down, for the press is full. The fat's overflown, for the wickedness is great. Multitudes, multitudes in the valley of decision, for the day of the Lord is near in the valley of decision. Yeah, and that's what it is. Let me see. That's what it is, and yeah, like I said, Yara Zaza, we are those men, and that we are worthy, to get the salvation from Yahweh Basham Yoshai, because without Yahweh Basham Yoshai, the protection and all that, you're not gonna make it. It's the book of Revelations, chapter 9 and verse 12. One woe is past, and behold, there come two woes more hereafter. So one war was already past, and it says that the two world wars are getting ready, Getting ready. This is the book of Revelations, chapter 11 and verse 14. The second woe is past, and behold, the third woe cometh quickly. So, like I said, we are in that time. It's around the corner. This is the book of 1 Thessalonians, chapter 5 and 1. But of the times and season, brethren, ye have no need that I write unto you. Yeah, because if you are in this truth, you are aware, of what is going on in this world, And for the majority of people, when Yahushua is going to come back, he's going to come back like a thief in the night. And of course, I would say that we don't know when Yahushua is going to come back. Not even Yahushua knows it. And let me just read it in the book of Matthew. It's the book of Matthew, chapter 24, and verse 36. But of the day and hour knoweth no man, no not the angels of heaven, but my Father only. You see that? But as the days of Noah were, so shall also the coming of the Son of Man be. For as the days that were before the flood, they were eating and drinking, marrying and giving in marriage until the day that Noah entered into the ark, and knew not until the flood came and took them all away. So shall also the coming of the Son of Man be. And this time it's going to be with fire, nuclear fire, laser beams from the chariots, and yeah, missiles gonna be flying and all that, so it's gonna be crazy. So back to the book of First Thessalonians, chapter 5 and 1. But of the times and seasons, brethren, ye have no need that I write unto you. For yourselves know perfectly that the day of the Lord so cometh as a thief in the night. For when they shall say peace and safety, then sudden destruction cometh upon them, as travail upon a woman with child, and they shall not escape. But ye, brethren, are not in darkness, that the day should overtake you as a thief. Yeah, like I said, by watching the events going on in the world, we are aware that the coming of Yahushua is basically around the corner. It's very close. Ye are all children of light and children of the day. We are not of the night nor of darkness. Therefore let us not sleep as do others, but let us watch and be sober. For they that sleep, sleep in the night, and they that be drunken are drunken in the night. But let us who are of the day be sober, putting on the breastplate of faith and love, and for a helmet the hope of salvation. You see that in Yahweh Tazah, the Most High, to his son Yahushai, gonna guide us through the madness. He will guide us to the madness that's getting ready to be released on this planet. So yeah, man, I'm gonna leave it like that. So with that, I want to give all praises to Yahweh, Ba'asham Yahushai, double honors to the apostles and elder bishops of Great Millstone for teaching scriptures, among other things, and salutations to all the Akyam across the earth who doing this work in sincerity and in truth, and shalom to the sincere brothers and sisters who are at home watching the videos and do their best to please Yahweh Basham Yahushai. So yeah, man, with that, I want to say shalom.